MyServiceTracker has many reports that will analyze any aspect of your business. This report is called the Goals versus Actual report. The Goals versus Actual will show your goals versus actual for each trade you perform by each customer type, separate or all together. By analyzing this report, you could see if the company and each technicians are reaching their goals and conversion ratios by trade and customer type. Goals are at the top portion of the report, with the actual numbers showing in the lower section of the report. You could see this report by each trade you perform by selecting which trade and customer type you want to see. Customer types would be COD, maintenances, property management, commercial, and home warranty. In the company setup process, you could select the trades and customer types you service. MyServiceTracker's trades are currently set up for appliance, HVAC, plumbing, electrical, garage doors, and pools and spas. Customer types that can be tracked are COD, maintenance, property management, commercial, and home warranty. For my company, and for this example, I do appliance, HVAC, and plumbing, with customer types being COD, maintenance, property management, and home warranty. In most reports, you will see a question mark in the upper column. By placing your cursor on the question mark, it will give you an explanation of the column's data. There are multiple columns in this report for the goal or budgets and multiple columns showing the actuals. The top section shows the company's goals and desired conversions, with the bottom section showing your actuals for the month to date. The first column is the customer type, followed by the column showing the trade you chose for this report. The average monthly calls column shows the number of calls for each customer type that you budgeted to reach your revenue goal. In the MyServiceTracker setup process, the program will tell you how many calls for each customer type at specific conversion ratios you will need to reach your revenue goal. The same column in the actual section shows how many calls for each customer type with your actual conversion ratios that you have ran for that month to date. The diagnostic fee only, or DFO, shows the percentage of time and revenue you ran a COD call and only collected a diagnostic fee or trip charge. With maintenances, MyServiceTracker calls this a maintenance fee only, or MFO. The recall rate shows the percentage of recalls for each customer type, and the maintenances sold shows the percentage and amount of maintenances sold to your clients. What does not get tracked does not get done. Remember, the actuals will always be on the lower report. The repair average shows the average invoice before upsells or additional recommendations. With maintenances, the average would be your maintenance average before upsells. In the average service and product upsells, MyServiceTracker will show you the average revenue created from service and product upsells. During your company setup process, you will choose ratios and conversions to give you your upsell service and product goals. Then your actual upsells will show you if you are being profitable with each customer type. In order for you to understand the true value of the call, you must account for upsell services and upsell products to your clients. What percentage of the time do you upsell services and/or products, and for how much? An example of an upsell service in HVAC would be a coil cleaning. An example of an upsell product would be a new AC unit. The number in this report is averaged out over all invoices, whether upsold or not. So if 1 out of 10 times, or 10%, a technician sold a $1,000 upsell, this would add $100 to the average invoice. In this example, if your goal is to have an average repair invoice of $300 and have an upsell service of $150, 20% of the time, this would add $30 to your average invoice. Combine this with a $1,500 upsell product 5% of the time would add another $75 to your average invoice. Accomplishing these conversion ratios would raise your average invoice from $300 to $405. In the last two columns, you could see the goal versus actual invoice after upsells and the total revenue generated from each customer type. This is the true revenue generated from each client or customer type, not the repair average. When analyzing the company's averages and conversion ratios, you will want to see these numbers by technician and/or trade. By clicking on the magnifying glass, this will take you to the report where you could see the technician's numbers that make up the budget. Once you are at the technician's page, clicking on the magnifying glass will take you to specific invoices. This way you could see which technicians are doing great and which need additional training. Remember, not taking advantage of every opportunity costs your company thousands, if not hundreds of thousands of potential profit. Analyzing this data will give you a better understanding of your budgets and how specific invoices may affect them while maintaining profitability. If you are not maintaining profitability, then you are on your way to working your way out of business. Thank you for your interest in My Service Tracker.